What's up? What's up, guys? Um, man, I was trying to do a live earlier today, and I just kept getting tied up with things. But so the conference ended today, and I was thinking of going over some of my notes from the conference, but I don't know. I don't think I did a good job writing notes. Um, and hope it's not too late, some of you guys, but it is Friday. I don't know, maybe you're not even home, I don't know, or able to get online. If you are here, what's up? How you doing? Um so I went away from my shop for almost a week. I left, well, yeah, I was basically gone a week. I worked Monday, but then I didn't work the rest of the week unless you count me being here on Service Autopilot and Service Titan for the whole week work. But evening, Merrick. Um, so and everything's fine. Business is operating good. Um, no issues. I mean, there were some emails that needed to be addressed. But you know, that wasn't anything that stopped everybody from the shop from working or anything. So things were good. Things were good. While I was talking to a lot of these business owners here at this meeting, at this conference, I feel like I have a really strong team, compared to some of the things I've been hearing. Um, but I think that's pretty normal. Um, Man, but the big theme of the whole place was techs, sprinkler techs, HVAC techs, those kind of things were in short demand. I mean, short supply. Everybody's having trouble hiring. Everybody's having trouble. Um, did I enjoy the conference? Yes, I did. Did I have the most fun I've ever had at a conference? No. Although it was really cool to hear Magic Johnson speaking. They had Brad Paisley do a concert for 3 hours yesterday. That was pretty cool. I'm not a huge Brad Paisley fan. I'm not really a fan at all, but I thought he was really cool though. He came out and he's like, "What's up, Titans of Industry? Titans of Service." I thought that was really cool. So because they told him, "Hey, this is Service Titan conference," so he was trying to kind of talk about that. And yeah, he's like, "Yeah, I learned a little bit that you guys do plumbing and stuff like that, and we appreciate you," something like that. But yeah, I didn't know any of the songs. But yeah, it was still really cool. I mean, everybody had fun. They gave out hats at before that concert started, so everybody was like wearing cowboy hats. They gave everybody one. Um, I didn't make that many connections though because um, I don't know. It was really weird how people. I felt like everybody that I did talk to was like open, and I should have been more kind of confident talking, like approaching people. But I felt like people were really standoffish. Plus, they're in a way different industry than me. So part of me didn't really feel like they would get much out of talking to me. But then I realized that I was talking to a guy and I told him about how I've been buying these businesses, and he was really interested in that. And by the end of the conversation, he was like, you gave me a lot to think about. So I feel like I could have offered more advice than I originally thought. But again, I wasn't there to give advice. I was there to get advice. Um, and I did get some information from some people. It's kind of funny, man. You don't really know um, how somebody could help you until you really ask them. For example, um, I thought I was talking to a guy that wouldn't relate to me because I have 1,600 customers in my database, right? Active customers that call us a lot, that we're on their property weekly or monthly or every 2 weeks or a couple of times a year. So they're really easy to call us, right? So, like, we're so available for them. So my problem is I have a lot of I have a lot of sprinkler customers and we don't have enough techs to get to them all. So I was just thinking, what do you do? I forgot how I asked the question, but basically it was like, how do you like is that normal to get so many customers that you can't, you put them on a 3-week wait or 4-week wait, and do they stick around? And I didn't think he was going to understand my question, but then it turns out he has 26,000 members, right? That's a ton of customers, and they all get high priority, first priority, kind of like my customers do. So when a new customer calls, he says, unfortunately, we have a long waiting list. Well, we can call you back and put you on the schedule once we get caught up. And I thought that was genius because right now we're like taking new customers and trying to get our existing customers that are our priority customers. We're trying to mix them all together where we should just be focusing on the priority customers. You know what I mean? Um, and it's just, I'm so dumb because I didn't think that I'd be talking to somebody that can understand how many customers I have. And it turns out I have a tiny little bit of customers and they've got a lot. So that was really, as soon as he said that to me, it's so weird how simple that answer is. Your customers are your highest priorities. The new customers that call you, they're not so priority. You can tell them that you're too busy to take them, but your existing customers, now obviously this only works with certain services, right? Like, um, we wouldn't say that to a Mo customer. We would take all new customers. Like, you're not going to get your regulars asking for, I need your Mo cut now. Like, you may get some that say, hey, I'm ready to get put on the schedule, but it's not like an emergency like sprinkler work is. So that's where, in case you're wondering what I'm talking about, that's what I mean. Like, the sprinkler issues are emergencies that need to be addressed yesterday, and everybody in the whole county is asking for it. How do you cipher through who's going to be the ones on top priority? Or in my case, I was just trying to schedule everybody, and then in the meantime, pissing off some really long-term customers that have been my customers for years and years and years. Whereas I could just tell the new customers, hey, unfortunately, we're on a backlog right now, so we can take your information and call you when we get caught up, or we can put you on the schedule for like 3 weeks out. And if you find somebody in the meantime, no hard feelings, just let us know. So it's just kind of funny how you don't realize what other people can do, and and a lot of times they may even be busier and make more money than you. You just got to ask them. So, Freddie, what's up? Jamar, what's going on, man? Merrick, lots of similarities, service industries. Yeah, there is. Yeah. Um, but yeah, so one of the things I want to do on this video is kind of go over some of my notes. And I don't have that many notes. Um, A lot of times, like at the essay conference, I'll make paragraphs. But on this one, there was so much stuff coming at me from so many different people that I just wrote down like little sentences or words instead of um, a full on paragraph. But one of the things that this was before I got to the conference. On the airplane, I saw a commercial for boxofawesome.com, which is what do you call those? Like a surprise gift box every month. Um, so I thought it was really cool because for 50 or 40 or $75 a month, you can get a surprised box, right? That comes with, 3 to 5 items, right? And I want to get that so that I can give those 5 items, or however many items it is, to employees every month. Random stuff, but cool stuff. So what they do is they get these local places that make things like wallets, axes, sunglasses, combs, whatever, just random stuff, but good quality stuff. And they get all these local companies that do these things, and they buy bulk from them. So they give them good deals so they can ship it out to everybody at, relatively low cost, but yet having quality stuff. And I thought that was genius. So I did it. I signed up to one of them, and I'm going to be getting my first um, box, I think, in a couple of weeks, if not sooner, maybe even 1 week. I think they ship out your first one faster, and then the next ones are shipped out uh, the fifth day of each month. So that gives you 5 days to say no. I don't like that box. Can you change it? So you can change the colors of things, if there are options for that, or you don't, or you want a different box, or I don't want a box at all. So you're not locked into anything. If you don't want to do it that month, they give you 5 days to tell them, and it's no big deal. Green Cuts, what's up? Hey. So again, I have some notes from the conference, and I'm kind of just going to read these off tonight, and see how it goes. And some of these things I may read and not remember why I wrote it, so I may have to talk through that to remember why. But here's one: ask employees to bring a new hire and give them a deadline. So that was from Tommy Mello. If you don't know, that's my man crush. That guy is in Garage Doors, and he is killing it, killing it, killing it. So basically, he said, if you need employees badly, okay, ask every single employee that you have to bring to work one person, okay, and you give them a deadline. Like, I need you to bring in one. If so, in my case, I think we've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 active techs, right? Workers, you know what I mean? Field guys. If they all bring one person by, let's say, May 1st, I'll give them all $50. Okay? That's a lot of money, but imagine if they actually if 5 of them brought one person, that's 5 new hires that you'll get right there. I mean, again, such a simple idea, but think of how powerful that will be. If all 15 guys brought one guy, you double your workforce just like that. Now, of course, not everybody's going to be ready to go day one. You're going to do some training and all this stuff, but think of that. So I wrote that down because that's actually pretty smart idea. Um, My next note, build a form for ride-alongs. Um, and I'd said possibly an essay, build a form in Service Autopilot. So so you build a form so that when your new hire does a ride along, when he clocks out for the day, he should have a form that he fills out. What did you learn on your, and I'm just making this up, but I'm trying to remember the form they had up there as an example. What did you learn on today's visit? What did you um, perform after watching or after learning it? What service did you do while you were on there? What did you not like about your trip today? What did you like about your trip? Things like that, where they have to actually think about it, write it, and send it back to me so I can read back what it is. You can also have it be sent to whoever you need to send it to. So it doesn't have to be to you or me. Um, but I thought that was genius idea because usually we'll have a new guy ride with somebody and just kind of ask them the next day, hey, how'd it go? But if you had a form with specific questions that are thought out and they're always going to be there, so you're not going to forget them, I think is a really great idea. So I wrote that idea down. 151 tune-up sheet. Okay. So basically, you should have, what do we call in our industry? 20-point inspection, 20-point checklist, uh, 20-point something, right? Well, you should have 101, or sorry, 151 point checklists for things. So um now maybe for mowing, we might not have that many, but maybe we do. Think about that. Instead of just 20, try and think of as many as you can. So this 151 point inspection is basically for like we would do that in the sprinkler division, right? So like you do a service call, or not a service call, you do a diagnostic fee charge of, let's say, $89, right? So it costs $89 for you to make sure everything's running good, everything's looking good. Basically, you get called to the property to fix anything. It's $89 for, if it's a little $5, like, I don't know, test valve or something. Charge $89 plus the part, and then you do 151 point inspection. So meaning you check the timer, you check the wires, you check the valves, you check the sprinkler heads, you check for coverage, you check to make sure it all works, you check the backflow, the stop and wait. Just add everything on there, something that a tech can do, go through the motions while on that property, because you're getting paid $89 plus the part to fix whatever it is you did, or more for whatever it is you did. But you say, all right, ma'am, so I'm here, I fixed that. It's $89, no big deal. And here's our 151 point inspection. So I wrote down here all the things that need replacing or that are about to go out. And would you like me to go over that with you, or should I just leave that with you there? So it's like you're not pushing the sale. You're not being like really like, I don't know, we call it aggressive, but you're letting them know that, hey, it is $89 and that's a lot of money for me to just come out here and fix that. But I also did this big long inspection for you and I noticed some of these things. So I thought that was a great idea. So I wrote that down. Website, implement a recognition form. Okay. So this one is made mainly for the employees, right? So what that message was build a page on your website that basically all your employees can go to and nominate somebody to be like employee of the month, and why, and encourage them to do that every time somebody does something awesome, or just hey, it's time to nominate the employee of the month. So he said, put it on your website so it's easy for them to go to and fill it out right there on your website, and then it gets sent to you. So I thought that was a great idea. What else here? Use a personal calendar. So a lot of you guys probably use a calendar, right? Um, but I don't use a calendar, man. I do not use a calendar. So if I go to my calendar and I pick a day, it basically is empty. You know what I mean? Because I wake up and I live life however I feel like it. I don't put things down, but one of the talks was all about the calendars. And he had everything in there, like what time he checks emails. Like he will not check an email unless it's on his calendar. Um, and immediately, I don't like doing that kind of thing. Like I said, I like living life however I want. But when you have structure like that, he went on to show and explain and talk about it. You actually get more done if you have it on a calendar. It forces you to prioritize what is important and what you think is important. So that may be something. And he showed me like his calendars. I mean, he showed the whole room. It was part of the talk was calendar, and every minute was laid out. It didn't show like it didn't say what time he had to go to the bathroom or anything like that, but it checked everything. What time he left the shop, what time when he's at home, what does he do? Like it was all, and some things weren't like exactly detailed. Like it didn't say I'm watching TV. It just said spend alone time or spend family time, stuff like that. But I don't know. I thought that was something that I could work on. If he went on to basically guarantee that you'll be more productive if you do that. So because of that, I'm going to try to give it a shot. But I never have used a calendar, so it's going to take me a minute. But anyway, I thought it was important enough to write down the note. So do a 6 month, every 6 months, do an organizational chart, meaning, organizational chart, right? It's like shop manager, who's under the shop manager? Boom. And then you got fleet manager, mechanic, uh, operations manager, whatever. You should do the org chart um, every 6 months because he says that your business constantly changes. Um, eh, Usually in like a 6 month rotation. So if you lay out an organizational chart, then you can kind of see what kind of hires you're going to you're going to need. Like there's so many different positions that are usually in need. Like you need a new position or a different position or change this person. You don't need that person. Not that you get rid of people, it's just the position. So it's like I need a fleet manager. I need somebody to just maintain the trucks all the time. I mean, it's ridiculous how crazy. Oh man, I've got this on. It's recording everything I'm saying. Oh man, I hope I didn't mess up my list. Um, but anyway, the organizational chart, pretty interesting. It kind of gives you an idea of forecasting of what kind of positions you're needing, right? So it's like you may have, like in my case, I've got three office people, but I need a fourth. You put that on the organizational chart, everybody will see that, oh, we're trying to hire a fourth um, office manager or office person. So I thought that was really cool. Um, Hold on, I gotta delete all this words I recorded. Stop. All right, let's see if I can do this fast. Okay. Okay. I wrote etc. employee. I don't know what that etc. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Earned tax credit, something like that. Um, okay, so apparently, if you got PPP money and you used it and you actually retained employees like it was meant to do, you can actually qualify for something called some kind of earned tax credit. And you could get potentially $26,000 per employee you retained. Okay. So in one of those talks, he gave us some information so we can get the process started. I did take PPP money. Like I was like March, yeah, was it March 2020? I was worried. You know, this whole pandemic was happening. People were dying, and it was the start of the pandemic. Things were shutting down. Government was like shutting down, and it was like I was scared. So I took that money. You know what I mean? Um, I didn't qualify the second time because we didn't have a quarter where we went down. We were always going up. So I didn't qualify for the second PPP. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So if this works, apparently it's a real thing. It's a real thing. I went to a government website after that talk to see if this was real, and it's real. And the speaker said it's real. And so if it goes through and if it works, apparently it takes time though. So you fill out the application. It's really complex. It's not like easy like the PPP paperwork was. This one's actually needs to be done by like a CPA, or if you're really good with that kind of stuff, maybe you could figure it out. But they say that you really need like a CPA type person to fill out this form because it's really complex. And then once you fill it out, it takes like 6 months to get the money. But I've started the first step, which is basically hiring a company to do it. And if it works, I'll let you know. I'll tell you about it. But for now, I don't want to like say something that's not true. So I'm going to see if it works. So that'll be interesting. Let's see here. Um, oh, yeah. So this other speaker, what was his name? Oh, man. I got to figure this out. This guy is was incredible. His business is going to do $130 million this year, and they profit $1 million a month. Man, that is awesome. Let me see if I can get his name. So one of the speakers was Tommy Mello, who my wife thinks is my man crush because I love listening to that guy. He has a book, Service uh, Home Service Millionaire. Uh, Good book. Um, but he's got a great podcast called The Home Service Millionaire. Great guests, man. Like awesome guests all the time. Sorry, this is taking so long. Come on. Okay. Man, shit, I can't find him. Um, Hold on. So, wait, he's the owner of um Next Gen. Dang it. Oh, there he is. Ishmael. Let's see. You can see this guy. This guy right here. Ishmael Valdez, CEO of NextGen. This guy does $130 million in revenue. His payroll last week was $750,000. Um, so all all organic growth, meaning he didn't acquire any other companies, and he did that in 5 years. Um, so he went on at the beginning of his talk to talk about how he's just a normal dude. You know what I mean? Like he's like, dude, I don't have any secret sauce to tell you. Um, I he went on to explain how he's super like normal. He's just passionate about the work he does. But he said what he does that he knows is why he's successful is that he pays his workers better than anybody. So, so what did I write about him? Let's see here. Yeah. Um, he basically, so his payroll is like 50%, 50 to 50, something like 50 to 52%. I might be mistaken, but I think that's what I heard. Um, which my payroll last year was 50%, was actually 54% last year. And you'll hear some of these like, you know, lawn lawn guys, I won't say any names, but um, that say you need to be between 25 and 30%, which is great. I mean, that's great numbers for sure. Um, but this guy, Ishmael, I don't want to say his name wrong, but I think that's what it was. Dang it. Oh well. Um, 54%. And I paid last year 50, sorry, he paid 50 to 52%. Last year, I paid 54% out, and my prices weren't as good as they are now. They were not like I would say right now, my prices are 90 to 97 or 98% right. Last year, they were not close like that. And my payroll was still 54%. And we pretty much did good. We did good. And my guys were paid good because they were taking quite a bit of money from sales. So my point is, even though the experts say, you should be at 25, 30%, if you're priced right and you're at 50% payroll and you're priced right, either the guys are milking it, which you don't want that to be. You got to have good employees. If you have good employees and you're priced right and your payroll is 50%, your guys are making tons of money and they're going to tell their friends. That's not the point that he said. That's what I'm saying because that's what my payroll was last year. And I feel good that the guy that was making probably the most money there, payroll was as high as mine. Well, obviously, I don't mean the total amount, $753,000 a week. I just mean percentage wise, 50%. Now we're not 50% this year. This year we're closer to the 30 something. We're in the 30 range because of the one man crews that we're doing. But those guys are making tons of money, and this is a different industry than what they're in. That guy that's doing $130 million in revenue this year is in HVAC and plumbing. So it's a whole different industry um, than me, but Uh, so anyway, I thought that was really cool. I mean, he's stressed and stressed and stressed. You got to pay your guys good. You got to pay them good. Like he pays them good. They tell their friends, and I'm getting that now. You know, I'm getting guys like show up to my shop. Now, I wish they were sprinkler techs, but that's fine. I mean, good guys are still coming to my shop for mowing and garden maintenance and cleanups because they hear that I'm paying good. I think it's going to get better. You know, it's not like they're knocking down my door. Every once in a while, somebody comes, but I have a feeling that if I keep this up this year, everybody continues to do well at Lawn Thumbs. They will be knocking down the door trying to get a job there because I think the word is going to spread. We work all year round, which is huge, and we're paying well. So last week, my top Mo guys made $28 and $27 an hour. That is amazing. And the cool thing is, like, I am so happy about it, you know? Like, that means it's priced right and they're making money and we're making money. Whereas, last year I would have been like $28. So things are going really well. And so I really encourage you to pay your guys well. There's more to it than that, of course, but if you have good employees, pay them well. They will take care of you and your business. Like that's the most important thing. And that's what this guy was stressing out. That's not even what I wrote. I haven't told you what I wrote yet because I'm so like, and the reason why I didn't write anything about the pay good, because I already know to do that. I'm just reiterating to you guys since I listened to that talk, you should do it too. It's the more money they make and the more productivity they're doing, the more business you're going to get, the busier you're going to get, your reputation's going to grow, um, and you're going to make more money. So why not share? The only thing is you got to have your prices right. Like you know that, and I'm starting to become a broken record saying that, but it's so true. Last year, we had tons of money in our profit account, tons of money in our winter fund. Payroll was always met. We always even had extra money in the payroll account, and I got paid well. And we still were losing money. It was just hard to see because all those other accounts were being filled. But I definitely couldn't have paid more. But this year, we figured out where that money was not being made, but we raised our prices. Now we're paying way higher. Like it all comes back to paying, um, making sure you're priced right. And don't think that you are the highest priced in your area because you honestly don't know that. What you need to do is fix your prices to pay for all your stuff plus a profit percentage. So, Freddie, do you have a minimum charge? For all services, we do have minimums for everything. Like aeration, it's $90. Mowing, I think our smallest, tiniest yard between 0 to 1,000 is like $48, something like that. Garden work, I mean, we won't go out and do a garden job for less than like 250 bucks. Um, and I've even tried telling the garden manager that that's still too low, but so I'm not sure if that answers your question, but we do have minimum charge for sprinklers. $89 is our minimum charge to fix the smallest little thing that needs to be churned. It's still $89 because you're paying for that tech to load his truck, to drive to the job. So you got to charge those things. Um, so let's see what else here. Um, oh yeah. So what I did write down from Ishmael's um, talk. Sorry, I'm just not sure if I'm saying his name right, but I can't. I keep losing his name. So what I wrote down was he said reviews are the most important thing for your business. Can we? Does anybody not agree with that? Put in the comments. No, if you don't agree with that, because I'm kind of curious to see if anybody, and give me a thumbs up or something if you think that's good advice. I'll go into it a little bit more deeper right now, what he talked about, but I'm just kind of curious if you think reviews are pretty much the most important thing outside of paying your employees good. Okay, Merrick, you think it's important? Well, he goes on to say it's the most important thing because reviews are never going away. They're never going away. It's always going to be a part of our industry, the service industry way of customers figuring out if they should call you or not. Reviews are super important. He went on to say that one review place in particular is more important than all the other ones. Which one do you think that is? All right, we don't need to be playing this all night. But it's not Google. Google's very important, obviously. You try and fix these things, but that one is not the most important thing. Now I don't know if he's right or not, but again, he does $130 million in revenue, and he says that he's getting like grows like crazy year to year. This is only his fifth year. So he knows what he's talking about. So let's just assume he's right. Okay. But hold on, let me read this. I actually don't have any reviews yet, but this is my second season. I guess I have to ask for them. Yes, you do. Okay. So he said that the most important place to get reviews and to make sure that those reviews are good. So if they're bad, you do whatever it takes to fix them. And that is Yelp. What do you think of that? I hate Yelp. And he went on to say, I know everybody here hates Yelp. Yelp, they filter their reviews, meaning you could have like 20 reviews, but Yelp only shows 5 of them. Now this is something I know. This isn't what he said, but Yelp, they're Yelp has a super intricate like algorithm that has spiders and it reads everything from their consumers. So when somebody goes to their website and leaves a review, Yelp's algorithm and spiders find out try to find out and predict why you left the review. Is it because you were asked by the company? Were you asked by Lawn Thumbs to leave a review? If you were, they won't show that review. So somehow their system reads that. So it gets data from your wherever you're from, like doing like whether it was an email coming from you. Did they go from their email to the website? If they did that, most likely it was because you requested it, and they don't want you to do that. So Yelp filters reviews that they deem were asked. They don't like that. So anyway, I'm not sure why he is so adamant that Yelp is the most important reviews out of all of them. But again, let's assume that because he's doing $130 million in revenue, he knows what he's talking about. Okay. So he says that there have been times that he does whatever it takes to fix the review. So if somebody wrote so the one review he doesn't care about if it's bad is if they say your price too high. He says he likes to see those so that when other people read reviews, they know what to expect when they're going to call him. But what they do want is like they don't want to have reviews that say they scanned me, they didn't fix what they said they would. He does whatever it takes to fix that review. So he will call them up or his office will and say something like, "Ma'am, I understand that you weren't happy with today's visit or yesterday's visit. What can we do to make this right? I want to give you a free service." And the key word he said is free. Okay. So do it for free. Fix whatever it is they need to make sure that they make it right. But what I'm going to ask from you, sir or ma'am, is if you would please change your review and I'll send somebody out to do that. Now, actually, he said, if I do that, will you go back and change the review? I'm telling you, if you're going to do that, tell them to change it first, then send out free. He says he's done that and he's even given out refunds. Okay. Um, and he talked about some big refunds to fix some reviews. And I don't know. So that's what I wrote. Yelp reviews, go back and fix them. He says that if you haven't looked at your Yelp account in years, go back, call the people that wrote a bad review, even if it was years ago, and try to get them to fix it. Say, hey, we've changed managers, and we noticed you were unhappy, so you wrote a bad review. Is there any way that we can maybe fix that? Would you be willing to entertain the thought that if we go back and do this free service for you, that you'd go back and change that? He says that it's that important. So that's what I wrote down. Social proof is real mechanism and it can come in many forms. People seeing your trucks all the time, referrals are social proof, reviews, recommendation. Yeah, it's true. What do they call that? Is that what it's called? Where consumers basically need to see your something from your business 9 times before they finally say, like, think of you when they need that service. So, door hanger, website, banner, uh, Google ad, trucks, whatever. You need to see you like 9 times, um, and then it sticks. So when they need that service, they go, "Oh, I know which company. I know what company to call." So, yeah, you would agree. Um, Google, yeah, I think Google is very important, but I think that one's pretty what do you call it? Common sense. Like when you see that there's a bad review there, it's like boom, let's fix it. So I think what maybe like he's trying to say is like don't forget Yelp. You know what I mean? Because reviews are never going away. It's always going to be there forever. So we might as well embrace it, But, I don't think this is anything new. But again, this guy does a ton in revenue, and that was one of his main topics. Let's assume we need to think about that more too. Let's see what else. Okay. So this is a kind of an interesting thing. So, is this the same person? Can't remember. I think it is. Maybe not. So he told this little statistic that I thought was really cool. Um, the Postal Service mail trucks last on average 2 years. Okay, they have like a 2 year lifespan. UPS vehicles have a lifespan of 6 years. And somebody somewhere, somehow, some way did a study to try and figure out why the Postal Service's vehicles only last 2 years, whereas the UPS vans last on average 6 years. So they did a bunch of research, and what they found was the Postal Service trucks never get washed. They never get washed. So the employees treat that vehicle like crap because it looks like crap. Whereas the UPS trucks get washed every single day. So every day an employee goes to work, his truck is clean, he treats it better. Therefore, they get a much longer lifespan out of that truck. So it's kind of like, so he used the analogy too, like, imagine if you told all your employees to wear dirty shirts. Like, they're going to come in and work and kind of be upset or dirt. They're going to look dirty, but you tell them, like, wear nice uniform, wear a clean uniform with your clean truck. They just feel better. They look better and they treat their equipment and shirts better. You know what I mean? So I thought that was awesome. And how do we apply that to our business? Maybe we should be washing our trucks more regularly too. So believe it or not, I actually started doing it like 2 weeks ago. Just a coincidence because we're using a pressure washer now that sprays out hot water because we've tied into our water heater. And so I was spraying the trucks because the hot water actually does a better job of washing these trucks without any soap. And when we're getting the trucks next to the pressure washer to clean the the mowers, I've been also washing the trucks. Um, and I think we need to do that more of that. I actually told this statistic to Jose, who is kind of like my yard guy, my fleet guy. You know what I mean? And he went off on me on how like he's so mad at some of the employees because the inside of the trucks look bad. And he said that he's been telling people, "Sorry for yelling at you, but you got to clean the inside of your trucks." And I agree with that. So let's clean our trucks. They're going to last longer. I thought that was great advice and a great statistic. Let's see. Jamar, Yelp is the default on Apple devices. Maybe the higher incomes are the reasons it's so important. It could be. Um, it is really weird. Like for some reason, I have a bad taste with Yelp. I don't know why. Um, but maybe there's something there. Tigran, I don't know if that Tigran Gertz or whatever. I like watching his videos. Um, he does all his marketing on Yelp too, which is kind of interesting. Pretty interesting. Okay, Green Cuts. I think Perfect Cuts washes their trucks daily also. Yeah, I don't know who that is. Oh, yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Um, that's awesome. That is awesome. Um, yeah, that's Corey Ballard's business, right? Okay, interesting statistic, huh? Read the book Infinite Game. So on this conference, Simon Sinek was there, and he was talking about the infinite game. I don't know if I need to go into that, um, so I won't go into that. But he was. Have you guys heard of Simon Sinek? Um, really cool, really cool, cool discussion he had with somebody there that kind of like did a they had two chairs and they were just talking, um, and talking about business and this theory called infinite game, whereas like your business is an infinite game that doesn't end. Maybe from season to season you can have a win or a loss, but it keeps going, and eventually you can, you know what I mean? Basically, I don't know. It was really interesting. So I bought the audiobook. I just haven't listened to it yet. But I'm going to be doing that probably next week. Getting close to the end. The last couple of things I got are just little tips and tricks for Service Titan, the software. Um, one of the things that I talked about or I wrote down was when I talked to a contractor who basically, I think I might have said this at the beginning of the video, but when we get a big, especially for sprinklers, when we get a big influx of customers that are calling and they're all new customers mixed with your regular customers, when those type of seasons happen, like winter sprinkler winterization, sprinkler adjustments and churn on at the beginning of the season, um, you need to basically focus on your existing customers first, if not only, um, so that you don't piss off your customers that are paying you a lot of money every year up to this point. Whereas when you're injecting new customers in there, they haven't done anything for you yet. Of course, it's important to have them. So he's like, if you had enough techs, you just have a certain number of techs just focus on new customers, and everybody else focus on the regulars. But since you don't have that many techs, you basically need to prioritize your existing customers over new customers when it comes to sprinklers. I thought that was great advice. So there's my list of notes of this year's conference. I will say that normally I have super long notes when I go to conferences, but this one was a little different. Um, this conference had a ton of speakers, but at 5 different stages. So all the other conferences I've been to, sometimes there's 2 stages, um, or one stage where they come one after another, you know what I mean? And you're listening to them all day, whereas this one is they basically had 2 speakers, 2 tr 2 tracks, so 2 hours of speakers, but they had a ton of speakers, but you had to select out of those 10 speakers, you can only listen to 2, um, a day or a session, something like that. So basically, I only listened to like 4 or 5 speakers, but then we listened to 4 like big time speakers like Magic Johnson, Simon Sinek. I forgot the president's name of this company, but she was also the CEO of Cinnabon. Um, and who else was on that stage? And then they had like product development team that was talking about IA in the future of, is it IA? AI. So, um, Service Titan is going to have a huge AI feature that's basically coming out now, and it's in the crawling stages. And they went into how it's going to be, um, in the walking stages and in the running and in the flying stages. And they walked us all through that, and that was on the main stage that everybody had to listen to. Good stuff. Good stuff. There was one like AI. They have some development, like right. They got research and development that they're working on, and they work with some of these big companies before they launch it to everybody. Right? They do some certain things with certain companies just to kind of tweak it and fix it and stuff. And they've got it down to where they can predict who the 5 next people are going to quit your business. Um, and so the day that they said that to this one company that does 15 million in revenue, um, they gave them the list of 5 people and they said, "Look, we don't know if like how soon it's going to be, but these are the top 5 people that are going to quit at some point first." And when he gave them that list, one of those people on that list had already earlier in the day told one of the managers that he put in his 2-week notice. Um, and so that's pretty insane. And um, one of the main telltale signs that the AI figured out is if their drive time in between their window time or drive time in between jobs, it gets longer and longer. um, that's a telltale sign that that employee is not happy, which I thought was really interesting. Like, that's not the only thing it figures out. It figures out like the drive time, how much detail they're putting into the job notes, so it could kind of figure when people are happy and they like their job, they do a lot of notes, um, but when they don't care anymore, like they don't put very many notes. So that's interesting because you don't need AI to see that. I have texts myself that I'm like, dude, you need better notes. Like, you didn't put any notes. If the customer calls 3 months from now, I'm not going to know what you did there. So I need you to put down these notes. Um, so that's pretty cool. What was another thing? No, I mean, there's more to it, but those are the ones I remember. The drive time, the lack of notes, I think upsell, ticket averages, all those things AI can kind of figure out. I mean, it's pretty nuts how, you know, your what do you call it? Computer phone footprint of everything, like, has so much data on you that it literally knows better than you what you like. So if you've ever gone to like a what that one of their things is saying is like if you've ever gone to like Uber Eats or whatever, like whatever those are called, and you say before you get on it, you say, I want to make a salad, I want to order a salad. But then you get on there and they're like tacos. It's because it knows you're gonna freaking order the taco and not the salad. Isn't that nuts? And it's only gonna get better and better, you know? They went on to talk about this guy Moore's law, whereas he said that microchips or computer chips are going to double in capacity, like what they're capable of doing, by double every 6 months. And the truth is, and he said that like a while ago, right? But if that were true, we wouldn't be this far until years in the future. So he said that the technology is actually getting faster and faster, way more faster by like one and then 9 zeros after it percent faster than was predicted. So it's even going faster than that guy said it was. Anyway, my point of that is at some point it's going to be blaringly obvious that the data that's captured on all your devices and everything, it's going to be blatantly obvious that it knows you better than you. But we're not there yet, but it's at the beginning stages of that. Anyway, so So AI in software is also going to predict who should go to what jobs because they know the computer knows that that tech is more efficient than any other tech at that specific job. Anyway, Service Titan actually hired like the top data people because they really are going to their big thing is going to be AI. So um, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So I think that's all my notes there. I don't remember what else I could have taken away from that. Um, it was a good conference. This is a conference that I'm probably going to bring my wife to in the future. I don't think it's a conference that I need to bring employees. I don't. I may not need to go anymore to this one. I think all in all, I mean, out of the conferences I went to this year, I went to the Irrigation Association. So I went to that and that was okay. That one definitely deserves to bring employees because there's some continuing education happening there. There's product development. There's other people in the sprinkler industry, so it's pretty cool for sprinkler techs to go to that. Um, I went to the Mike Andes Landscape Summit. Um, Clean Green. Am I going to Tommy Mello's conference next month? I want to. Um, so I didn't know he's having a conference. I thought he's having a training center or a training course. Can you tell me a little bit about his conference? Um, because I thought it was just like a 2 day, like for his training course, like so you can bring yourself and kind of see how they train, so you can implement that in your business, like how to do the actual like technical stuff. So let me know if there actually is a conference. Um, I would like to go to it, or I'm just gonna send one or two guys there without me because I mean I'm starting to get like I've gone to too many conferences. You know what I mean? I've gone to Irrigation Association, Landscape Summit. I swear I just went to something. I swear I went to one something else. Can't even remember. Maybe not. Did I go anywhere else? I don't know. Okay, well, I guess I've only been to three, but December, January. Man, where the hell did I go? I don't believe so. Legit conference from the sound of it. Okay. Speakers on different topics like sales and advertising. Yeah, maybe, maybe not. I want to go, but I feel like I'm all conferenced out right now. But we will see. I may send somebody there without me. Because I thought there was a training course, a training thing, and I already told my trainer that he's not really a trainer, but he's the guy I want to be the trainer. And I already told him that I may send him to that, and if that's what it is, I may still send him since I kind of already told him. I said I might go, I might not go, I don't know. I'm kind of over conferences right now. Um, but so this conference was good. Um, but service autopilot conferences to me have always been better. Um, and I really think that the Landscape Summit conference, the networking part of it was better than this one because this one's really hard to relate to the other attendees because they're HVAC plumbers and electrical guys. And it's like way different than what we do. Maybe I'm wrong. I just heard him talking about it on a recent podcast. Yeah, it probably is. I mean, it probably is. So anyway, I always had issues trying to figure out why plumbers don't like to do sprinkler irrigation stuff. Like, do they not want to get dirty? That's what I used to always think. They don't want to get dirty. So I asked three different plumbers why they don't do plumbing, like sprinkler irrigation or sprinkler repairs. And I got three different answers. Okay. One of them said because they rarely ever get calls to do it, so they don't know how to do it. They literally said, I'm pretty handy, so I'll look at it. And if I think that I can do it, I will, but I'll tell the customer I've never actually done that, so you may be better off calling an irrigation guy. I thought that was like, oh, that makes sense. The second guy said, you know, we already carry so many parts for, fittings, brass, all these different fittings for plumbing and stuff that they work on that they don't have any room to have sprinkler parts. So his way of thinking was like, I don't want to have to hunt around for parts. I'm wasting time if I do that to do like something that's going to be like 99 bucks. Like it's not worth it for him. And that makes total sense. I never thought of that. They A plumber usually has all the stuff they need in their vehicle right outside the door. So if they were to do sprinklers, their mentality is, well, I got to have everything stocked up or else why even do it? And so they don't have enough room for all that stuff. So I thought that was really interesting. Um, and I can't remember what the third guy said. I think he said, yeah, we just don't want to dig outside. But I don't think he may have said something like that. Um, so one guy, I don't know if this was one of the same guys or what, but they said they trenched like a 20-foot, 4-foot trench, a 4-foot deep trench that was 20 feet long. And their techs like called off the next day because that was hard work. You know what I mean? So anyway, what else did I learn there? So that's good. That made my way of thinking why plumbers don't do irrigation work. I'm really glad he said that because I used to think it was because they don't want to get dirty, but that's not the truth. And they said, dude, we get dirty all the time and we fix stuff out there all the time. We just don't like fixing sprinklers, but sometimes things break out there. The funny thing is, and I know uh, a lot of you guys don't do irrigation, but in case my one of my sprinkler techs is listening, a plumber can't fix a backflow. They can install one, they can't fix it. So I explained to him, I said, hey, there's a gray line there. You can maintain it. Hmm? But you can't fix them, but you can maintain them. And he said, okay, that makes sense. So anyway, well, let's see, is there another one? No. Do we have any more questions? Hopefully you like this video. Um, I thought about it right before I did it that, you know what? Why don't I read the notes that I took at this conference? Um, the thing about this conference too was it was good information. When I did talk to people, I did get some good information too, but the cool thing is like the actual event was probably better than any other conference I've been to. Like, not the whole thing. I don't think the whole event was better than Service Autopilot. I think the information you get out of Service Autopilot's conference has been better. Which, by the way, on my last YouTube live, I mentioned something about Jonathan Potoshnik, who was the founder of Service Autopilot. Apparently, he doesn't work there anymore. Did I hear that on here, or was that on something else? Uh, yeah, so he doesn't work there anymore. He must have sold out, or not sold out, but must have sold his shares or something. Um, and it makes sense. Like, dude, Service Autopilot has not been the same since he's been gone. Um, and I wonder because they still plan on having SA 8 or 9, whatever. They still plan on having a conference, but it's not going to be thrown by him, which I think is super weird. Like I don't know how that's going to be. Like I don't trust it. Um, how much are you guys charging for an acre? Excuse me, with a 36-inch mower or a 40, I guess. Um, let me tell you. So, how much an acre? That's 43,000 square feet. Sorry, I am going to a new screen really fast to see if I can get you that price. So, 1 acre. Square, that's 43,000 square feet. Well, I don't have 43,000 square feet on here. Wait, do I? No, I don't. But I do have 3,000 or 30,000. Oh, shoot. So I do have it. Hold on. I have 30,000, not 40,000. So 30,000 square feet is $216. And if I were to add an extra 13,000 square feet, be 93. So we're looking at 300, just a little over $300. And it doesn't matter if that's with a little mower, a grandstand mower, whatever. Now I will, let me change that. So let's say a homeowner comes, so we would charge, so really the real cost, I'll tell you the real cost. So 216 plus 93, we're looking at $309 to mow that. Now we'll tell the customer, yeah, now they're going to use a grandstand mower to do that. And the homeowner, if the homeowner says, I really, really want them to use a little push mower, we're going to say, okay, we will try that. But if they go over the allotted time that they have to do that job, we're going to have to charge you the difference. Okay. So the time they will have is, hold on. Okay. So 133. So they got quite a bit of time. They have, if they were to push with a little mower, okay, let me ask you. So if this costs $309, how much budget time would you give somebody with a little mower to push that? Put your answers in there and I'll do mine. Okay. So I'm not going to wait here all day either, though. So our budget time, if that was a real phone call right now, say, that's weird. This phone doesn't have a cable. Hello? Um, so $309. My Mo guy, my one Mo guy, would have 4 hours and 15 minutes to mow that. You think they can get it done in that time? Yeah, I do too. Oh, 5 hours. Nice. Is that what you charge? Um, damn. So how much are you charging? Well, that's a lot. I don't know. 4 hours. Um, yeah, you're probably charging more than $309 then, right? What are you charging? Clean. Um, yeah, so we would have 4 hours and 15 minutes. Um, that's a long time. You know they'll get it done faster than that, right? How long does it take you to do it? And do you use a little mower? I'm just curious. Do you mow a lawn that big? Um, and do you use a push mower? Yeah, way faster for sure. 5 hours. Okay. That's crazy. Like, I don't know if I'm out of it or what, but I feel like, I had a property that was that big. And we did it with a big mower. I could see that taking quite a while, but yeah, I could see that, I guess. 36, it takes around an hour. Yeah, exactly. Like I used to mow it with a 48-inch mower. I used to mow that with a 48-inch mower. And I mean, it's been years. I could probably find that job, but it was like done. We would do it like in an hour and a half. Yeah. Um, but that was with edging and trimming too, like, well, that was somebody else doing it, not one man. So that was one guy mowing, the other guy doing the trimming all the way around. Um, Interesting. Does that help you? Like, or what? Did that information change anything about you? What you would do, or were you just curious? Let me see. So, how much are you charging? So, I would charge 309 if somebody called me right now. Sound like somebody left something at my door. Um, I forgot to have dinner. I forgot to eat dinner, and I don't know what's open right now. It's 10:30. It's all good. It's all good. Um, so anyway, here we are. So tomorrow is Saturday. I'm probably going to go home, relax. Um, I think if I went to work tomorrow, my wife would kill me. But I'm gonna make sure. I got to make sure that I my yard guy goes and cleans and sharpens all the blades tomorrow. Um, Sorry, I got to read a quick text. All right. $75, then said it had to go to 90 and they went somewhere else. Oh man, you gotta love it, dude. I way undercharged and still lost a job. Oh, that's hilarious. Um, Although I don't blame you, man. Like I've been there too, dude. I have been there for sure. Um, but that's one of the things. That's what Ishmael said. The guy that does 130 million bucks in revenue is he charges a lot, but he knows his the value the customers are getting because of such good employees. Like they get what they pay for. They're going to get great employees. They're going to get great work done. Um, and that's the other part of things. Like you can charge those prices when you feel confident, knowing that if they say no, you can go somewhere else, or they can go somewhere else, but you're still going to be fine. Like because one of those things is like you rather do one $309 acre job than three to make the same amount of money. So you go through like 20 no's to get the one yes, and you're ahead of the game. So I always think that way, you know. Same thing with sprinklers. It's like, you know, yeah, we charge $361 for a valve, but the customer should know that if there's ever an issue, we're going to warranty that. We're going to answer our phone and we're going to send somebody pretty dang quick. So I'd rather do one $360 job for valves than $300 ones. Like it just makes more sense. You can focus more quality and attention to that one than to three. You will. And that's three chances that one of those is going to fail and you're going to have to go back. Where you could have just done one job, focused on it, make the same amount as if you went to three jobs, and it's going to be better. I try to take that approach with all things like aeration now, man. We don't $90 is our smallest price for an aeration. Because I'd rather do one aeration than three. You know what I mean? Like it just makes more sense. You get one full day of aerations at these prices. It's like you basically worked for 3 days in a row and you got all that revenue in one day. And you can take more time doing it like that 3 hour and 15 that 4 hour and 15-minute job that we could literally take 4 hours and 15 minutes, and Jamar could take 5 hours and do it, unless you were just trying to guess how long it would take we were budgeted for. So I'm not trying to knock you or anything, but imagine if that customer that paid $309 watched you one day and you were there for 4 freaking hours. They're going to love you. They're going to love you. If you're there, if you got charged $90 and they're doing their job, you're doing your job if you're there for 4 hours and 15 minutes. You get a pat on your back because you did your job. You don't get a bonus. You don't get love and hugs because you were there for 4 hours and 15 minutes, but you got a pat on your back because you did your job. Imagine if that homeowner saw you do that for 4 hours and 15 minutes. They're going to love you. They're going to never leave you. They're going to go, dude, yeah, they charged me a lot, but they were here all freaking day. If you charged $90 and you were there for 4 hours and 15 minutes, well, you made no money. You lost a ton of money. Even let's say you pay $20 an hour. You basically just made your wages. That's not even including any gas and the cost of running your equipment and the cost of the wear and tear on your equipment and your truck and whatever else you're using to do that property. You're not just using a mower. You're using a trimmer, edger, blower. So all those things you got to think about. But knowing your prices is right, and then knowing what the budget time for all your prices are. Those are super important. Because if you know those two things, then you can tell your team what to expect. You can tell them, hey, you have an hour. Homer, did you just hop on and now you're leaving? Sorry, I really did want to start this a lot earlier, but things came up, phone calls came up, and ended up being later than I wanted, but it's all good. Yeah, I may call it a night too, guys. I may take some questions real quick if you have one or two. Um, Otherwise, I will call it a night. Is there a formula you use to figure out your budgeted time? Yes. Um, so first of all, you have to figure out what your man hour rate is and like what it needs to be for you to make pay for all your stuff and make a profit. And for me, it's $70 an hour. So every hour that my Mo guy is standing around, he needs to be bringing in $70 an hour. Obviously, he doesn't do that while he's standing around, so he needs to go boom, 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 get the jobs done so that when he is standing around from clock in to clock out, it's $70 per man hour. Um, yeah, you got 4 stumps and you need to go to sleep. Go get it, man. Go get that money, bro. Do those jobs. Have a good night. Um, so so for every 7 hours, hold on, 4.33 divided by 70. 70 divided by 4.33. Hold on. 4.33 divided by. I hate math. By the way, Rachel figured this out, not me. I'm just trying to remember what she did. Um, I can't figure this out. Basically, for every hour, every 70. Oh, I can look at a formula myself. So let me find a job that's $70. So for every $70 on a job, it's 1 hour. So if a job is $140, the tech has 2 hours budgeted. Now, I always tell the guys, you need to leave like 5 minutes before the 2 hours so you have time to get to your next job, or else you're lose if you only do exactly 2 hours on that job and then 2 hours at the next job and 2 hours at the next job, you're actually losing time because of the drive time. So you have to get done like 5 minutes early or 10 minutes early to make that drive time balance out. Does that make sense? Is there do I have a business coach? No. I always joke around my business coach is my stomach, because sometimes I feel this nauseous feeling when I see something wrong, and when I look into it, it's usually because my stomach told me something was wrong. Um, but yeah, so if you just want to use my formula, that's fine. Not my formula, but my man hour rate is $70 an hour. Um, that's because of, think of all my equipment I have. You know what I mean? Grandstand on every truck, two trimmers, two blowers, a high wage of pay. Um, you got to factor in all those things. And so 70 is pretty high. But again, if you're confident, you have good employees, good equipment, good system, you can feel confident to charge that. Um, I do believe that when you're first starting out, though, let's say less than you got one truck and it's got 25 lawns a week. Those prices may be too high for you to fill up your truck. I think you need to start off lower, and rightfully so. And maybe you figure out what your man hour rate needs to be with, your setup. I don't think your setup is going to cost as much as mine. Maybe it does. I don't know. I'm just saying I'm paying my guys really high. I'm paying them in the 20s. The beautiful thing is when you have your man hour rate and you have your pay and you have your budgets, those three things, um, if they get done faster than their budget time, you can still pay them for their budget time because you still got the same money. So that's why I got guys that are making $28 an hour mowing lawns. That is awesome. That's something all of us should be doing all the time. So you basically it's 1.16 per minute. It is. Yes, but you got to have minimums even for mowing. So none of this. I'm there for 20 minutes, so I'm only going to charge $20 and whatever that comes out to. One point. Let's say you tell yourself, or worse, a customer tells you you should be done in 15 or 20 minutes. So let's just say that, because I've had customers tell me it should only take you 20 minutes because it's 0.0000 an acre. So it's like the tiniest thing in the world. Still put your minimums. That's how it balances everything out. So for a property that's the size of this laptop here, I charge 48 bucks. I don't care how small it is. That's our minimum to send my tech that's got to drive from who knows where to your house to the next job. I don't care. I need to make he needs to make at least $48 on that little tiny property for it to balance out, because remember, my guy just standing around needs to be making $70 an hour. He's not going to do that if you only paid him 20. I guarantee you it's not going to happen. Unless you have a big dense route continuing after that, but that's still a gamble I'm not willing to take. I'll never take that gamble. 2 trimmers and blowers, even for one-man crews, yes. Part of that reason, Jamar, is because I need my guys to buy in on the fact that they're one-man crew. I need them to feel good about it and to not have any excuse why they can't do it. Once you have one bad apple or one person saying, this isn't right, one-man crew, blah, 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 it will start affecting everybody. So I got to make sure they have everything they need. They want to put one blower in each hand and blow out the sidewalk, do it. Like, I got to have no reason for them to feel that I'm not making them as successful as possible. So they've got some of the guys have 2 mowers, 21-inch mowers, and a grandstand. And that $70 covers all of that. Some of my guys only have one 20-inch mower, just because I want some of the other 21-inch mowers to be backups in case somebody's mower goes down. I need good backups. You know what I mean? I have a lot of used mowers. I have so many used mowers. I may actually be thinking of selling a bunch of them, but they're all 21-inch mower Hondas. I think I'm keeping the Toros just because my guys just love them, so I want to have them there for them. I charge 40 minimum. Green. And green also, most of my accounts are 1/4 acre. I'm going to see what my minimum is. So I kept saying 48. My minimum is actually $39.97, so 40 bucks. So I'm in the same boat as you. as far as the minimum goes. So I don't care how tiny the yard is, it's $40. Now, here's another secret that I do, and I've said this before, but it's like it's amazing. And that is charge 25% more for every 2 weeks. Okay? So, let's look at my minimums for every 2 weeks is $50. And that's for one square feet to 1,000 square feet. So it's tiny, and we're charging $50 if we're doing every 2 weeks, and that's our minimum. So it goes up from there, and I love every 2 weeks. So do my guys. So let me try and show you something here. So let's talk about. Okay, so we already talked about the what do you call it? Acre, the acre, right? So let's look at a lawn that's every 2 weeks. Oh, okay. So we can't talk about that. The reason is we actually don't do properties that are every 2 weeks if it's over 15,000 square feet. The reason is that does get too hard on the equipment. So basically, if a customer calls and they have like a 20,000 square foot lawn, they say, "Hey, how much is it every 2 weeks?" We say, "You know what? We don't actually offer every 2-week mowing for that size property, and they have to go weekly." Mainly because of the equipment and how hard it is if the grass grows really thick on a property that big. Uh, Green, you started accepting 2 weeks account 2-week mowings this year. Great. Good job. Now, you should charge more though, because it is going to get thick sometimes. So I really want to show you guys the power of every 2-week mowing. So let's look at let's say 5,000 square foot property. Okay. Um, so a 5,000 square foot property. Well, really, I should say, I think I have this wrong. I hope it's not been wrong. But anyway, let's just say it's $55. Okay. I'm going to write this down. So 5,000 square foot property for every 2 weeks. No, weekly. Weekly is $55. Okay. So every 2 weeks for a 5,000 square foot property is $68.71. Okay, now on the every 2 weeks property, he has 1 hour, basically 1 full hour to do that property. And every week, he has 0.80. What is that? 40? 40 minutes. So here's the deal. You get 20 minutes longer to mow a lawn that's every 2 weeks, and you're getting $13 more. Like, what's not to like about that? Your mow guy is going to finish that property in 35 minutes. He's going to earn an extra 30 minutes budget time if you pay that way, like I do, which you should. I recommend it. Um, they're going to love it because pre-budget hours, pre-budget hour times, my guys are saying you shouldn't accept every 2-week mowing. Say no, don't do it, just do weekly. Okay, now check this out. You get paid more for that property and you get longer time to do it. So what do you think now? Oh, now it's okay. Now here's the cherry on top. I will I'll tell you. So So we got 40 minutes for weekly, 1 hour for every 2 weeks. We're charging $13 more for every 2 weeks. Now, guess what? It's every 2 weeks and they have dogs. Okay. So a customer that has dogs, it is now, and it's every 2 weeks, it's $84 every 2 weeks. And they get an hour point 12. I don't know what that comes out to. 1.12, that's um, ugh, 6 minutes. I don't know. Anyway, they get an extra 6 to 10 minutes. I don't know the exact. I don't know what point 12 means. I really hate numbers, but I know dollars. So $50 a week. They get 40 minutes. Almost $70 every 2 weeks, and they get an hour. Now they have dogs, so nothing's changed other than now they got to pick up some poop and close the gate. That's important. $84. So that should be an extra $15. That's what we charge. Okay, 16 but 15, 16 bucks. The guys love it now. They love it, and they still have the opportunity to tell the customer they need to go weekly. So I will never take that away from my Mo guys. I don't care. As long as I'm making the man hour rate, I'm still making my profit every single job, whether it's weekly or every 2 weeks. We just make more if they do it, if they have dogs and it's every 2 weeks. We also charge the dog prices if it's weekly. So let's say this customer, so normal weekly, they have 40 minutes. Let's say weekly with dogs, 5,000 square feet is $67. So almost $10 more. Actually, $13 more. I thought we were $15 for dog, but I guess not weekly. They have 45 minutes. So they have 5 more minutes. And they're making more money. So those are my little tips that honestly we haven't had much pushback. Sometimes a customer does get upset because they have an indoor dog, and maybe when they called or the homeowner, or for whatever reason, we say, "Hey, we found out you have a dog. We need to charge you this charge," and they get all mad, and they say, "I have a little dog. He's hardly ever outside. I don't understand why I'm getting penalized for having a dog." That's a big complaint that we have gotten. But if we explain it like this, we go, "Okay, you have a dog. Do we need to call ahead of time to let you know that we're coming? Is the gate ever going to be locked? Is the dog ever in the backyard and to be put away? Like, we need to call you ahead of time for that? And are you going to get mad at us if we leave the gate open by accident? And do we need to pick up dog poop?" If you answer yes to one of these 5 questions, sorry, that's our policy. We got to charge you that dog fee. You're not being penalized that you have a dog. It's just those things are going to interrupt our process from going house to house. If we have to wait for you to unlock the gate, that's an issue. If we have to call ahead to tell you, that's an issue. That's taking time. We have to make sure the gate is closed, which we do want to do every time, but you know how it is. Sometimes we may forget, but we will hold ourselves accountable if we forget to open the gate or close the gate. If you're paying that dog fee, you're going to get an email with a picture every single time. So that's why there's the dog fee. If you explain that to a customer, just like I did, they just say, "Okay, never mind. You're right." Or it's just too much. I got to go somewhere else. And you know what? Are you going to complain if a customer with dog leaves? Are you going to be upset? That's something we asked ourselves before we did this policy. We said, look, what we're having these issues with customers with dogs. Our routes aren't being as efficient as they should be because we're having to call the customer, or we get there, the gate's locked. We can only mow the front. We can't do the back. Like it's an issue. So what if we do this price? Would it be worth it? Yes, it would be. Would we be okay if they all left? Yes, we would be okay if all dog customers left. So what's the problem? There's no problem. Do it. Um, Green, that makes sense. You have to charge more because every 2 weeks usually needs to be double cut. I don't know if it usually needs to be double cut. Maybe where you're from, it does. Here, it's pretty dry all the time, but the grass sometimes does grow. But I don't think we ever have to double cut, you know? And if you do need to double cut, maybe you should be charging more than 25% on top of the weekly price, maybe 35%. Um, so just customize it however works for you. Because, see, that's another thing. I mean, would you be, you know, so again, if my Mo guys, we tell customers this too. We can put you on the every 2 week mowing route, but if our Mo guys say you need to go weekly, then you have to go weekly if you want us to mow. So again, I leave it up to my Mo guys. Like I said, we still make our profit whether he mows it weekly or every 2 weeks because we have our budget times on these properties and we're good. So I don't care. But the tech makes more money if it's every 2 weeks. So why not just do it? You know what I mean? Like that's what I tell my guys. I'm like, dude, you don't want any customers to cancel on you. If they cancel on you, that's going to affect your paycheck. Not from me. It's just that you won't have those jobs to count those budget hours. I mean, they've been earning on average about 10 extra hours a week, which is comes out to about 2 hours a day that they're earning, and I feel great about it. Like, great. I would love it if they could earn more, but the quality needs to be there. Right now, mowing is going faster because grass is still in the dormancy stage a little bit. But once it starts growing like fast, which will probably happen here in the next 3 weeks, their budget times may start balancing out. So having those every 2 week jobs is going to help them out a lot because they get that extra time. They get like a good amount of time. So anyway, um, I think this one was good. This was a good video today. Man, we're coming up on 2 hours. Um, I may stay on for an extra 6 minutes. Oh, something cool, dude. I was on the phone out there in the plaza, in the back, where like basically there's like four hotels that are right next to each other, and they all share like a plaza, and there's like some restaurants in there. I was on the phone back there, and the one and only Jerry Rice walked right in front of me. And he's just standing there on his phone. And I was like, that's Jerry Rice. That's freaking Jerry Rice. I think he saw me staring at him. I mean, he was like 6 feet away from me. I mean, he was right there. And I wanted to take a picture of him, but I'm also weird. Every time I see like a famous person, I want to leave them alone because I don't want them to be bugged by me. You know what I mean? But he was my favorite football player him and Joe Montana growing up, but Jerry Rice was my first favorite football player. And I just felt like I know I normally never talk to famous people or approach them because I'm not like that. I like to just let them be. But that was my favorite football player, you know? Um, but he was on the phone and I didn't bother him. I didn't say anything to him. And my cousin I was on the phone with was like, tell him he's your favorite player, man. Like that might make his day, you know? And I'm like, I don't know. He's on the phone. I don't want to bug him. So I didn't get my picture taken with him. But I saw him. I saw Jerry Rice. Lawnscapes, what's going on, everybody? Yeah, man, I've been on here for about 2 minutes. I think I'm going to stay on for another 5 or 4 minutes. So if you have any questions or anything, let me know. I did a video today. This video was on my notes from the conference. So hopefully it will be interesting to some people. But man, I'm hungry. It's 11 o'clock. I don't know what is open. I don't know if this hotel will have food this late. But I'm hungry. And I don't know what's open. Probably nothing. So what to do? Let me see. Is there anything on this phone? No. I'll figure it out. I always do. And if I got to go to bed hungry, I will. My last night in LA, be heading out in the morning. I should clean my room up. I got some cool swag. This is a nice hat, Service Titan hat. I got a bunch of pins too. Like they had landscape pins. Mainly so they had these like all these pins so you can put on your lanyard. I don't know. Just running your street sweeper. I saw you were on. Can you do DoorDash at dinner? Maybe. I don't know what's open though. Dude, I am the least cheapest guy you've ever met in your life. Okay. I spend money, man. But one thing I think is so expensive is freaking DoorDash. You know, you go through the free trial period or whatever, and it's cheap. Like, it's what it should be. You pay for the food you're buying, and then there's a little delivery fee, and there's a tip. That's how it should be. But after your introductory free period or whatever, food doubles. I don't know if it doubles, but it goes up. So, like, if you buy sushi for like $8, your sushi is 15 if you use DoorDash. And then there's like a $3 delivery fee and then a $5 or $6 tip. So you went from buying something that's $8 to 30. Like, I don't understand how people can do it. How do people do that? Like, I can kind of see in this situation me needing to do that. I mean, I got no food. That may be a good option for me. I don't know what's open, so I could go on DoorDash and see if something could get delivered. That makes sense. But like on a normal, busy, regular day, I don't see how people want to pay that. Like, that's nuts. And like I said, I am cheap. I am not cheap. And I think that's expensive. And I'm just mind boggled that that's the price that they charge and people pay it. I can't even believe it. LA never sleeps, man. Something has to be open. I would call the front desk and ask. Yeah, I should do that. In fact, they did tell me to call them anytime I need anything. Um, all right, we're at the 2 hour mark. This is officially, I think, officially my longest live I've ever done. I love these. I feel like it goes by so fast. I feel like I just sat down like 30 minutes ago. That's how it feels. And it's been 2 hours. It's crazy. I'm just a talker, ain't I? Anyway, guys, have a great night. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. I probably won't do a live tomorrow, Saturday, just because I'm probably just going to be home most of the day, resting. Um, but we'll see. I never say never. That was another thing. Anyway, I don't want to go into the conference thing again, but one of the speakers said it's good to change your mind on how you run your business a lot. It shows that you take information in and change when needed instead of being so this is how it is no matter what. um, it's good to kind of be flexible and change your mind when it comes to the operations of your business. um, and I do that quite a bit. It's actually like what I think people in my business get annoyed with me because I change my mind a lot. But it's because I say I'm going to do something and then somebody says another idea that I think is better and I rather go with that idea cuz it's better. So I don't mind that people get annoyed by me because I'm trying to do it for them basically. So glad you've been doing these, man. It really helps. Thanks, Screen. I like doing it too. But it's been 2 hours and 2 minutes. I'm going to call it a day, guys. Thanks for hanging out. See you on the next one.